And hello, everybody, and welcome back. And considering when this is planned to release, happy Christmas to everyone that's watching. Certainly within the next couple of days. I've pointed this out to various people, and we have a couple of odd head ornaments and lights and some weird backgrounds.
You're saying about my horns.
Well, yes, all right, fair point. So we kind of worked out and roughly planned out that this was what was going to happen, and a couple of people said that they were going to do stuff for it. So happy Christmas to everyone. And I did have this whole thing that I told everybody that we were going to do, which we was going to talk about all of the gaming like rituals and things like that which happen over Christmas for each family and each group. But there is something that I want to deal with, and I'm kind of preempting this a little bit because for various reasons I don't know yet if anybody in the last episode will have pointed this out in the doobly-doo under the YouTube video or in comments somewhere or on Facebook groups. I know that I did detect magic wrong. I know.
Just blame me. Blame me.
No, this is on me. This is on me because I hate detect magic. Because I hate the way that they've changed it. And this is a big rant. And yeah, anyway. If we were playing it by the books, Neffy, when she cast detect magic, will have known that there was magic in the area, and that's it. Nothing else. Because by the rules, by the level that Neffy's at, they can only cast detect magic at level 1, and detect that magic at level 1 gives you a vague idea of if there is magic.
Careful.
Yeah, it gives you an idea if magic is present or not present within a 30-foot radius of you.
Mm-hmm.
And many other people have pointed out that functionally the only way then of using detect magic to work out where magic is to triangulate. Effectively, you cast it, you move 10 foot, you cast it again, you see if the magic source is still there or if it's disappeared, and if it's disappeared you move one way, and if it's still there you move the other way, and you keep going until you hone in on, roughly speaking, where the item is. I don't like the faff of that. I can't stand the faff of that, and so I caveat my detect magics with it gives you at the very first basic level, it gives you a rough idea of where it is, not an exact, but a rough idea of where the magic is, and that's how we'll do it. It's bad enough that I also think that there's a read auras ability which functionally is a constant play on, pick up an item, is it magical? Pick up an item, is it magical? Well, once upon a time with detect magic, you knew exactly where an item was just by concentrating on it, and you've got detect magic did it all. So I'm not necessarily a fan of the way they split it. As it happens, this group has one person that can cast detect magic and nobody that can cast read auras. So I have vaguely discussed with Neffy and a few other people how therefore this group can work out whether or not an item is magical. It is the most ridiculous concept that we could come up with ever. But
was it what my other character did?
A little bit.
Yeah.
I believe we've done something.
Sit in a room and have people bring me things.
So basically what this revolves around is going somewhere where you know that there isn't magic, so out in the wilderness somewhere, or round in a room that's a 30-foot, 60-foot square room, so you can detect, cast detect magic, work out where all the magic items currently in that room are, ignore them all, which is one of the benefits of detect magic, and then your party members, one at a time, put a single item within 30 foot of you, you cast detect magic, and you go, no, that one hasn't pinged, okay, we'll take that one out, we'll put another one within 30 foot of you, oh, that one did, that one's magical, and you just keep going until you work out all the magical items. That, by the letter of the spell, is exactly how you can use detect magic to do what read auras does. And you can do it from 30 foot away rather than having to pick up the thing. you know, so there are some things in second edition which I find a little bit ridiculous, and one of them is detect magic, and that is my TED talk for this evening. I hope you'll subscribe to the channel.
Welcome to the big grumpy gamers version of Detect Magic.
It's just, I don't know. There are. I'm sure they had a reason for it. I'm sure they thought it was a very clever way of doing detect magic. But it doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me how they've done it. And there's a whole big sort of, well, you've already just heard it. There's a whole big rant. And I'm sure
This was the short version as well. I heard the longer
That is
version.
the short version. That is the short version. 5 minutes is the short version. So yeah, it's. I'm sure, as I said, there are other people that have very similar complaints about detect magic, and I'm sure there are other people that say it's perfectly fine the way it is. You play it the way you want to. We're not playing exactly by the rules. We're going to use it slightly different, and we're going to include this caveat that there's functionally a cardinal direction when you cast it. I'm not going to give you an exact, it's in X, Y, or Z. That will be the heightened version of it, where you can go, yes, it's exactly in that cabinet there, and it's in this one there, and that'll be a higher level version. But yeah. Oh, we got lots of pings from somebody. So let's go back to what I was originally going to do, which was we're at Christmas
My
time.
internet has died.
Oh, we can still hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, I can hear you. Okay, well, actually, you begin to come through again, actually.
Okay, well.
So the pinging.
There we go. Oh dear. Well, there's a slight problem. That's the issue with there we are.
God.
And back again.
There we go.
I'm actually back.
Yeah, you're back again.
I was about to put on my mobile hotspot and see if that was any better.
No, it's fine. We've ended up with a situation though where briefly Discord decided to disconnect your video and everybody's moved around the screen. It's fine.
Oh no,
It's
I'm
not
sorry.
a problem. You're perfectly fine now. This is one of the reasons why I want to get rid of Discord as our video thing at some point when we can afford something slightly better. So yes, getting back to what we're
Back to your original plan.
Back to the original plan, which was what do people do sort of around this sort of time of the year, just to sort of gaming wise. And I'm actually going to go first on this one because mine's a very pitiful and short tale, which was I was basically the only person in my family which was board game or game related. So I used to get loads of them for Christmas, and then they would disappear into a cupboard because nobody had any interest in it other than me. And generally speaking, as I've got older, obviously found friends and all the rest of it. Christmas is still very much for me a family thing, so I don't go and see my friends as much over Christmas, although this year will be for the first time something slightly different. But certainly for New Year's, I've always used to do a big gaming night, and we just used to do that through the night. Small children do not make this as easy as you might think, and so that has been on hiatus for a while. But let's go. I'm going to start with Moz, JJ over there. What sort of, if anything, or is gaming really a bit of a new thing for you in terms of that sort of style of thing?
Well, when I was younger, I was more into wargaming. But again, being an only kid, no one in the family really that much into it. The biggest board games we ever really played was backgammon, and similar, maybe cribbage in the family, which was, I think, the highlight of that one. Got my first console and basically started gaming on that, and probably only the last 10 years have I been gaming as a TTRPG or otherwise gamer anywhere around the Christmas season. Or the holiday season.
Dave, you strike me as somebody that probably does more gaming around this sort of time anyway, with as many people as you can get your hands on.
You would think, but you'd be wrong. Because man plus dog usually scatter to the four winds and do this family thing.
Yeah.
Whereas I don't do much family thing.
No.
And sort of Christmas and July tend to be the death knell months for my gaming groups.
Yeah.
Everyone is busy doing things because they have to go do family or they're on holiday. So just kind of button up, enjoy the peace and quiet.
Yeah. One of the reasons why we kind of we're recording this. We were recording this nowhere near Christmas. Just taking the curtain down
Don't do this.
No, it's Christmas Eve.
But one of the reasons why we're doing that is because actually we know that there's going to be a small delay over that sort of time period as well for us to record this. So it just made sense for us to have some recording in advance. Let's go with Becky. Becky, you, I mean, there's potential for you guys to game, surely.
Right, there is. Okay, but so my partner is really into wargaming, so he'll go off and play his Hammers of War or whatever it is he's playing.
Trademark.
I think it's that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he'll go off and do that. I'm not into that, so for me, my gaming is online like this, as it was last year. And then sometimes kind of around New Year's, I'll go and do like a night gaming. I played the longest game of Firefly one New Year's. It never seemed to end ever. It did end eventually, I think, because I was curled up in a corner. Go make it stop. Because it was like 3 a.m.
Is this the big shiny box board game with the?
Yes.
Yeah. I've had.
It was really fun.
I've had a few games of that. In fact, I own it. It's one of those wonderful games where it says this mission set will take you approximately 1 to 1.5 hours, and 4 hours later you're still going. Nobody's winning this.
That is exactly what it was, and that was my entrance into gaming around Christmas. And I've been out like New Year's Eve, spending the whole night at a gaming cafe, a local one, and things like that. So that's been fun. But yeah, it's not like the be all and end all, I think, in my Christmas, because it's family time. Scrabble is the most I get, which is quite competitive in my household.
So far, though, everybody's avoided the Monopoly curse. Lily, is this something you can happily say that you've avoided, the Monopoly curse of Christmas?
I do. So actually, this is a weird Christmas for me because it's the first year I'm not spending with family, as they've decided to move up to Scotland. So normally we have weird party games. So we might play, like Pictionary or something like that. But yeah, mostly if I'm doing any gaming over Christmas, it would be either online with various people. I've got a few friends in America that we used to go to school with. And then normally just after New Year, normally I'll meet up with a few people in around where I live and do a day or two of gaming, board games and various bits and bobs. This Christmas it's going to be a bit weird because it's just me and my partner, so we might end up doing more board games than we normally do, which will be exciting. But again, there's not that many 2-player board games that I really get invested in. Like a lot of the games I like are, like Betrayal of the House on the Hill and stuff like that, and you can't really do those 2 people.
No,
but I'm sure we'll figure something out.
Yeah, the 2-player board game curse. My collection of board games downstairs, some people are well aware, it looks like it wants to fall down most of the time because it's that kind of floor to ceiling amount of rubbish in some regards. And there aren't many 2-player games in that, so 100% understand that one.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm sure I'll find something at some point, but it's one of those things that most 2-player games are competitive, and actually I quite like a lot of the collaborative board games and dungeon delves where you're all against like an AI as such. And obviously you can't really do that with 2 people very often.
Indeed. Speaking of dungeon delves, We are.
No, I'm not ready.
No, not ready. Quick, divert. Something. Anybody, anything.
We are in a position, I believe.
Let's talk about Monopoly.
Well, we are going to
Or gaming against AIs.
not a chance of talking about Monopoly. No way. We are in a position where you guys have left once again with yourselves facing another problem in the Gauntlet ruins here. With Neffy having travelled over a room with an interesting detect magic casting to identify that there was something magical in the room next door, and as you progressed over the rubble that was in the room with Phelan following in behind you, all of a sudden a bunch of spirits rose out of the ground and began sort of pointing and shrieking at not only Neffy but also Phelan and Ulren, who was in the room, and the three of you need to immediately make a will saving throw for me, please. So this is a very, very quick roll for you, I'm sure. So you just need to find your will saving throw modifier, roll a d20 and add it on, and just let me know what the scores are. For Dave, I'm afraid you're going to have to roll 2, so you're going to need to do one for Ulrun as well.
That's fine. That's fine. Taken care of.
Okie dokie. So let's get some music started up, because we need to get in the right mood for this one now. Neffy, what did you?
Yeah, I rolled an 18.
You rolled an 18. That's a good start. That's a good start. Phelan.
Total of 21.
Total of 21, and Ulrun.
Total of 18.
Well, you see, I can't
We
really
needed
say
a
much
20?
about that one. No. An 18 is a success for all of you, so you all succeed at this. However, even having succeeded, each of you gain the frightened 1 condition. So I will mark that on the actual token so that your character sheets update. But just for simplicity, frightened basically affects everything. It reduces your attack values, your armor class. It will change your skill values as well. And I think saves too. So it is quite an expansive problem, this frightened. So just very quickly, I'm just knocking that frightened condition onto each of you.
Oh, poor frightened.
And then what I need you to do is I'm going to add you to an initiative tracker, because this doesn't just go away. So everything's been a little bit slow for me today, so hopefully, but I shall add you all. Hopefully, you should be able to see, if you sort of possibly have to refresh, you will see a initiative tracker. Nobody was doing anything specific, so I'm going to assume you'll need to. So, have people been able to find the initiative tracker?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Can you just roll your initiatives on those trackers then, please?
Do you want me and Mosman to do this as well?
I do. Everybody's involved, even if you're outside.
Okay.
Does
Ulrun
Ulrun need a separate turn?
Ulrun does
Okay.
not.
Yeah.
Super speedy anchor rolls a 9.
Well, you're not in the room, so why would you be expected
This
to,
is,
you know?
This is 100%.
Totally on the back foot.
So, interestingly enough, this doesn't appear to be your normal sort of trap, I guess you could say, because these spirits keep going. And what will happen now is it will actually get to act first. So, for a single action, some of the creatures start moving towards each of the anybody that has the frightened condition. So one of them, for the first action, is going to fly towards Neffy. Neffy, I need you to make a will save again, please.
15.
Ooh, 15 is a fail. So, because of that, as this becomes closer and closer and closer to you, you start feeling betrayed and confused, and it actually rips at your mental sort of state. You are going to take 7 points of mental damage as the creature doesn't even touch you, but just its presence stood next to you makes you start to feel pain. Then for its second action, it will start doing the same. Another one of these spirits will move off and will go to Phelan. So Phelan, could you make a will save, please? Is that a natural one? Oh dear. That is a critical fail on a basic will save, which means you take double damage from this.
Oh god!
So you are going to take 14 points of mental damage.
Welcome to Pathfinder, where we have a TPK right at the beginning. Happy Christmas, everybody!
And then one will move towards Orin as well for its final action. So can Orin please also take a will saving throw?
Goodness gracious.
I'm glad I made a backup character now.
Yeah.
15.
15 is a fail, but that doesn't double the damage. However, that will come in and do 12 points of damage to Orin. And then it's your guys' turn. So at least there's that. Neffy, you are next up on the combat tracker.
Okay. So obviously the first thing Neffy does is goes, "Guys, help!"
I'm still alive.
Everybody's alive.
Halfway there.
Everybody's alive.
Oh, I honestly thought Phelan was on 0.
No, not quite. Phelan is still standing.
Phelan's on 1, yeah. Oh dear. Can I do like a recall knowledge or something to see what I can work out about these things?
Yep.
What can I do?
Absolutely can. So for this, you would need to make a religion roll.
Oh, it's not my strength, but all right. That is a 21.
I mean, you say it's not your strength, but that's pretty good. This is a haunt. This is effectively a collection of spirits trapped within this area. They act more like a very complex trap. So while they have nothing that can physically be, well, that's not true. You could physically destroy them, but you probably have to destroy the source of them rather than them themselves.
Yeah.
So whatever is at the center of this pile of rubble, you could get rid of. But the one thing you do know about haunts is there is normally something which would allow you to get rid of them with almost like a skill. And looking at these ghosts that come up, they look like the kobolds that you fought before, the Stone Scale tribe. And so you've got a couple of things here. You kind of have a rough idea about what the Stone Scale tribe were like. They were very survival of the fittest and very strength orientated, and sort of like the biggest person wins. But this is also a collection of ghosts, so there might be something else that somebody could do, or you could do, which might get rid of spirits.
I'm currently thinking about if I was to drag Oh no, because Phelan's still up, isn't he? Yeah. I had it in my head he was on the floor. Okay, so I want to get out of this space. So I'm just going to get out of this space. And whilst moving, I'm going to relay that knowledge.
Yep, I'm happy for that to be completely free. So you've done one action to identify, effectively recall knowledge. Now, remember that first square cost you 2. So that first square will cost you
so that's 20 I've done.
Yeah.
25 to there, and then okay, you're on either side. So I can get to 30. Cool. Of which, whilst I'm moving, I'm relaying all of this so that everybody knows.
Yep. So
And
is
then
that all of your actions, or have you got 30 foot of movement? You have
30 foot of movement. I've got.
Yep.
Elf. I think that's why.
I believe that is. Yeah, I believe elves are the quickest.
And then I don't think there's anything I can do because I can't exactly attack them because that's going to do nothing.
Certainly, from what you know, from what you discerned from that knowledge, that recall knowledge check, yeah, that you can't really.
I'm gonna then just hide because I didn't like that. It really hurt. It hurt my brain.
I'm assuming I can pass through friendlies.
You absolutely can, yes, and it is your
Good.
Phelan.
Right. So I'm going to whistle to Olerin to get out.
Yeah.
And Olerin is going to... How fast is Olerin?
I believe Owen's 25 foot of movement.
Yeah. Okay, so Olerin's going to close the door because he's a really clever badger. So 3.
Leave you stuck inside. Smartest badger.
And then I am going to use 1, 2, 3, 4 to there.
Yep.
Which is 2 actions. And I'm going to move around the other side of Olerin. That's my 3rd action.
Okay, yep, that's more than fine. Okay, Mosrin.
Having basically heard that we're stuffed, we're going to have to do something about them with magic or otherwise. I'm standing here with a big pointy stick going, I've got a big pointy stick.
So,
Oh.
yeah, just as a very quick reminder, what Nephi will have said is there will be some way of getting rid of them. It might be something to do with the fact that they're stone scales. It might be something to do with the fact that they're ghosts.
Yeah.
Boss, next your pecs.
You know, there are various tenets that Hell Knights are supposed to uphold, especially Order of the Nail. You know, I will fear no creature, though the enemies of the Order are fairly terrible. But you know what? I'm going to close this fucking door. Action 1, just close the door on them.
Fair enough. Yep.
But-
Yeah, by all means, click and close that one, and we will quite happily.
Close that door is a problem.
And that ends the combat.
Yeah.
The future is problem.
Yeah.
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 Ow.
I'm gonna suggest looking at how beaten up you guys are. We might want to take a hot minute, a little bit away from this door, by which I mean an hour or so, just to kind of recoup.
An hour away from the door. I'm with you on that.
Not like go an hour away from the door. End an hour away from the door. Or try another door, but in about a bit later, yeah, because that's a problem.
Nothing really went terribly wrong. I immediately start doing detect magic again.
If you cast detect magic, Let me just do a very quick measurement to make sure I'm happy that you are indeed.
You say nothing went wrong. Mosran does not need an insight check to know that was bull. Absolute bull.
You cannot detect magic from where you are.
Not even through that door. What's in here?
So you know full well that the only way that is possible, based on where you were and all the rest of it, is, as I said, it must have been somewhere up in that top corner. Then,
so it's just out of my...
So it's out of range of where you are, but because last time you...
Hey guys, I know where the trigger is! This is how we
by all means, you go and disengage.
What I would say,
you go get your Google check.
Based on your knowledge check, that it's a haunt, you know that haunts don't detect as magical.
Oh, okay.
Haunts are very much like undead creatures, but they've not got the physical aspect to them. It's much more that they tend to have some sort of mental effect or necrotic effect. But they're not a physical thing you can fight, and they are not created by magic. They're created by the residue of dead spirits, effectively. So I believe the plan is a bit of a break and a bit of a rest. Is that the idea?
Yeah.
So Pathfinder 2nd Edition has a number of ways in which you can heal. The first one is you can heal with a night's rest, but you don't heal a lot. You heal your, I believe it's your con modifier plus your level. So it's not a massive number of hit points that you would heal overnight. There's obviously magic spells, the heal spell, various other things like that. But there is the medicine skill. And the medicine skill itself, you can actively heal people using medicine. Now, the basic way in which this works is it takes 10 minutes to apply healing with the medicine skill. As soon as you have healed somebody, they cannot be healed again for another hour, but you can then heal them again every hour. That's not a problem. At the end of the 10 minutes, you effectively would roll a medicine check. And if you get higher than a 15, you heal the person 2d8 points. It's quite a considerable and powerful heal, to be honest, and doesn't take up your spellcaster's spell slots. You can also critically succeed at that, healing 4d8. You can critically fail, dealing 1d8 damage. So there are at least a number of ways of patching up, and this is kind of the equivalent of a short rest. It's just that the skill check is done by the medicine user rather than the person using up their hit dice. And you can never run out. You can just keep going every hour and keep healing. That's not a problem. There are a couple of other ways in which it can be done. There are focus spells which can be used. They effectively are a special type of spell, and they can be burnt, and some of them are healing spells, so they do exist. And to cast those, you use your focus point, you cast the spell, and then after 10 minutes of meditation or something similar, you can gain that focus point back. So for somebody that, say, has a lay on hands or something like that, that would be a focus point. Cast, immediate heal, rest 10 minutes, cast it again, rest 10 minutes, cast it again. So there's another quick way that you can heal up. So for the purpose of this, though, you have quite a few injured people, and I would imagine there needs to be some sort of healing done for this one. So who amongst you is capable of using medicine or a healing magic of some description?
So what's the definition of being able to use healing, what do you need?
Well, so if you have
From healing magic.
If you have
Well,
healing magic, that's one. If you have medicine skill that you're trained in, which you are, so you could try and heal that way. One of the major things that you guys have got, I think mostly, and this is probably actually the main way in which you guys will heal, because it's going to be quite quick for you, is your lay on hands ability for Anchor is pretty powerful. So that effectively allows you to cast Lay on Hands, which I believe is 6 hit points. Just immediately touch somebody, 6 hit points. And then you just have to rest, get your focus point back, which takes you 10 minutes. And then you can touch somebody to heal them for 6 again. The same applies with Phelan, but Phelan can only do it for pets, for animals. So Phelan has Heal Animal, which allows you to restore 1d8 to any animal you cast, and then after a 10-minute rest, you would.
No, as a 2-action cast, it's 1d8 plus 8.
Well, yeah,
It's like the heal spell.
Yeah, like the heal spell.
So question. How long do we have to sit around for the frightened condition to go away?
The frightened condition will be gone at this point. It actually only lasts 1 round, so 6 seconds.
Right. In that case, I'm going to start making some nature checks to deploy natural healing.
Because you can use, yes, you have the ability, I believe, because of her feet.
Yes.
I can. Without,
Right.
Very, very useful.
I think either way, I'm going to have to start playing because I've already used my Lay on Hands on Phelan earlier in the day.
Yep.
I get out a few bits and bobs for my rucksack, a few candles, and find a quiet-ish area and start, doing some.
Okay. So while you're doing that for your first 10 minutes, I'm going to start giving Neffy some, I don't know, spiritually uplifting herbs.
Yeah.
Because it's mental damage.
Not to be confused with prestidigitation again.
No. That's the wax on, wax off gesture, not the squeeze gesture. That's something else.
There we go.
Okay, so 21 for healing Neffy.
Okay, so that is more than enough to do 2d8s worth of healing to Neffy.
Okay, so Neffingtons can have 11 hit points back.
Yay! I'm on full. Yay! Oh no, not 158.
Now.
I'll have it.
Okay, so 10 minutes in, Anchor will have got her focus point back, and Neffy is fully healed. Okay, so another 10 minutes, I would assume, needs to be used because quite a few of you are very badly beaten up. You can medicine yourself, by the way. That is entirely allowed.
Yes, this is my. Well, first of all, I'm going to drop a 2-action heal on Olorin.
Yep.
But that's negligible time, that gets 11 hit points back for Olorin, which puts him on to 15 out of 16, which will do for now.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll spend 10 minutes medicining myself.
Yep.
Which, with a 21,
is 2d8s worth of healing. Yeah.
Gets me 10 hit points back.
Okay. I think it's fair to say you still look quite beaten up. As I say, I assume at the moment you don't you look a little uncomfortable still.
Indeed.
So I guess what I've done is while you're patching up Neffy, I'll be playing. Once you've finished patching up Neffy, I would Lay on Hands you.
Okay, so that's straight 6.
Six
That'd be
more.
6. And then when you're medicining yourself, I'd go back to praying and getting my focus point back again.
Yep.
Okay.
So
I think 20 minutes in total is what.
And then after I've spent 10 minutes meditating myself, I'm going to spend 10 minutes communing with nature to get my focus point back.
Which technically means Anchor's got enough time to do it again, if they want to, because you do not get limited with focus points. It is literally just, can you sit down for 10 minutes and focus? So
Does that mean Neffy has 10 minutes to go and open every other door in the building?
If only if she can get away from Mosron's iron grip on the back of her scrub.
Right. How dexterous am I feeling?
I will roll that.
I rolled an 18.
Oh,
it's not
shit.
dexterity that you'd need, it's a strength check.
Damn it!
He's got you grappled.
Then I rolled a 16.
Oh, shoot, then I rolled a 9 plus. Not enough.
It'll be I think no, you've got enough. You've got enough to hold her.
Yeah.
It's against your it's against the DC, so don't worry. It's not opposed rolls. One thing that they did nicely get rid of in second edition is opposed rolls. So yeah.
I'd
like to think you've just grabbed her rucksack and she's like scrabbling to get away.
Scooby-Doo style. The legs are going, but nothing's happening.
It's about half an hour. It takes you roughly half an hour to go through this chain of healing. You are starting to notice that the sun is starting to now be more overhead. You're getting to the sort of midday of your journey. You arrived here quite early in the morning, and with various sorts of fights and searching through rooms and all the sort of wading past all of this rubble and various bits and pieces. The sun is now very clearly high above your heads. You can see in here as the light comes in at its sort of clearest that there are small signs of like the creatures that live in here. There is sort of sections where the stone appears to almost have been rearranged into like seats and things like that. So there's some sort of effort to have like quarters in here. The more you look at it, the more you realise that this door that you opened is barely touched in comparison to the rest of them. And it looks very much like these blue creatures that you can see the sort of corpses dotted around for. Didn't go in here. Didn't go in here at all if they could help it.
I wonder why.
I suppose it's not like a big pile of cobalt bodies in there as well. Or not cobalt, the goblin bodies.
Did we notice any bodies actually in there? Any like corpses? What did the ceiling look like?
You didn't notice any corpses. What you did notice is the room looked almost like potentially there might have been some sort of table in the middle, which had been utterly pulverized by the ceiling collapsing in, and you could see bits of the table. And now that you think about it, you could probably see bits of what might have been chairs, roughly 6 of them, around this table.
Possibly an unfortunate death situation. Maybe. Right, so we know not to... In fact, do I have any chalk? Right. Do I have any chalk? Quick check. I do! I'll get some chalk out of my... Mosron will get some chalk out of his pack and basically put a big circle and a cross through it. So we don't walk in there again. Just in case we forget, for no good reason, that this is a bad idea.
Well, Neffy's got it figured out.
Well, yeah. Neffy knows exactly what to do.
Can I try another door now?
I mean, yeah. I mean, to be fair, we are here to open doors and kick tail. So therefore, yeah. Go on. I can't see a problem with that.
I get to pick.
Could we stop you?
I mean, yes, technically. Why can't I? I can't move my token.
Are we stuck in combat? There we go. There you go. You should be fine now.
Aha! Is this the door down here?
That is a door down there. Yep.
Cool.
Are you just going to open it, or are you waiting for other people to join you?
I'm hoping other people will join me, and I want to listen and detect magic.
Okay. So the first thing is your detect magic will come across nothing.
Okay.
There is nothing in there. Just for my benefit, what are people doing as they explore? What are your current sort of actions?
Perceiving, searching.
Yep.
Shield raised.
Shield raised,
Scouting.
scouting, and Neffy.
Stealthing.
Avoiding notice. Okie dokie. So you're going to do a very quick perception. Phelan's going to kind of do that as well. Okay. And then I need a. What is Neffy's stealth?
It is +6.
Okay. Okay. You approach this door, and as you sort of get closer to it, and start listening at it, and Phelan joins you, you can both hear what seems to be this sort of squirming noise, this sort of little padded feet touching onto surfaces in like very tiny little but the vast majority of whatever's in there has a kind of writhing kind of noise as it shifts around.
Okay.
There is definitely at least one creature inside that room.
Didn't we fight something big that... Or am I imagining that? Last time.
He's the muddy creature.
Yeah.
Slurker?
There's also a maggot thing.
Yeah.
That was what I was thinking of, the giant maggot thing. Could it be another one of those?
Well, there's one way to find out.
Yep.
I mean, I'm happy to open the door, but, like, use the door as a shield.
Do you want me to go first? And I kind of start moving towards the door. And
Okay, I have no issue with that, and I back up immediately.
I kind of semi-gently push past Phelan, and open the door with shield raised.
Yep. So, you immediately spot in front of you one particularly large maggoty creature. Definitely. And curiously, it seems to be kind of static, looking at the door, but you can see its milky white eyes. And it doesn't seem to be reacting just yet. But it is certainly prepping to. The room itself is a collapsed mess. There are multiple areas where you can see rubble and various other bits and pieces, but this creature is most definitely looking straight at you, and because of that, I am going to ask all of you to roll your initiative, please. I will get the correct combat tracker up, and we will get you involved in this little fight here. Once my computer catches itself up. As I say, it seemed to be a bit slow today. Let's put one of those on. Just okay, so you should all see a combat tracker. You might have to refresh now.
Yeah,
I need to refresh.
just seems to be that thing because I've prepped them all in advance just to speed things up, but unfortunately some people are having to catch it back up. So Neffy, just make sure that you're rolling your stealth. That's the only thing I would suggest on that one, because obviously you are using your stealth. Everybody else roll perception, and then once you've rolled, I'll up everybody's by 1 because of the scouting.
Okay, I can't roll above a 10 today.
There we go.
Oh, Phelan.
Wow, Phelan's going quite quickly there with a 26.
Bold.
Yeah. It's the only downside of rolling it this way is I don't get to ask you what your initiatives are and get everybody to hear, but that's fine. Neffy, are you okay? Are you...
Yeah, it was just still loading.
Awesome, and a fantastic roll from you there as well, Mr.
Solid.
Yeah.
Absolutely solid.
Yeah.
Close that curtain.
I mean, the scouting helps you a little bit because you're at least going faster than one of the creatures that is in the room. Because
I managed to roll it twice.
You managed to roll it three
times.
But
Get me!
It did record the best. So we have Phelan first on 27, Anka at 11, Mosram at 9, and Neffy is at 8. But that is including the +1. So good rolls, guys. Good rolls. Phelan, you are first.
Right.
I think, as with most things, you are aware that there is a creature in there, but that is about as much as you can say.
Okay. So
You may find that the best way of moving, because of the tight confines of the door, is if you click on your token, you can then use the arrow keys to move yourselves around.
Right.
I didn't know you could do that.
You can indeed, yeah.
So, no.
You can lock yourself in the room if you want.
Yeah, again, possibly need to move yourself forward 1 and then down. Yeah. Still count that
Right.
as a 5-foot move.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Okay. I'll try to do something very complicated.
The dulcet tones of Sirenscape, some of the best combat music that they actually have on there at the moment. I do like this.
Okay. I would like to convey, through the manner of interpretive dance and wild empathy, and make an impression on these creatures that we are not there to hurt them.
Okay, interesting. All right.
So that should technically be a diplomacy check.
It should technically be a diplomacy check, but I believe because of your wild empathy, you can do it off of nature. Is that correct?
I will take your word for
It
it.
might not be, to be fair, but the normal thing to do, the normal thing with animals, I believe, is that you are supposed to use nature to change their...
Well, the wild empathy says I can use diplomacy.
Right,
So,
well, that's fair enough then, if you...
and my diplomacy is worse than my nature.
Okay.
So I will be guided by you.
So, let me just have a very, very quick look on this one, because this will be entirely sure what it's doing. So, this is a skills thing. This is nature. So you could potentially use nature to command an animal, but I don't think you're trying to command it at this point.
No, I'm just trying to get it to calm down.
Yes, so it would be a diplomacy roll then.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that would be a great and mighty 11. So I suspect that my final action of raising my shield may have hampered my diplomacy somewhat.
So yeah, an 11 is not going to be enough. The target number for something like this is their will DC, and even though these are fairly dumb-looking creatures, they are slightly more willful than that, unfortunately. Only just, but they are more willful than that. So this creature is still unfortunately hostile to you, so you then raise up your shield, which is probably a good job because it is its actions next. It does go next, and although it doesn't have eyes to sort of see you and work out what's going on, it does seem to sense that you're there. So it is going to, for one action, it's going to step up next to you, and then it is going to try and bite you with its mandibles. These things going to try and get hold of you. So almost rolled it there with Foundry, but I'll do it with the dice. A 19 to hit you. I have a feeling that is still going to get you even with your shield up. So
yes, yeah. My shielded AC is 17.
Yeah. So it bites into you. It's going to do a bit of damage. It's going to do 3 points of damage to you, although it might not, because it is blind and its senses are not precise. So it can still miss you. You are effectively concealed to it. So there is a mischance here. I have to roll a 5 or higher on the dice, on the d20, to see if I actually manage to get that hit off on you. I did. So it does bite into you. It deals you a very small amount of damage, but it's then going to grab you. So the mandibles lock in position and hold on to you. It doesn't do anything with that grab at this point, but you are effectively immobilized, so you're not able to move, and you have the grabbed condition on you, which is going to potentially allow it to do other things to you later on. Just to find the grabbed condition, because it does quite a few things. I think it makes you flat-footed as well. So yes, grabbed, that's going to make you flat-footed and immobilized as well. So immobilized means you can't take any actions that are move actions or interact actions to sort of grab things off your belt. But that is all it can do, and it is now Anka's turn.
I see this bug maggot thing continuing to pin Phelan up against the wall. Mm-hmm. So I charge into the room and get behind it.
Yep. It is still flanked because even though Phelan is grabbed, he still counts as being active in combat. So it is now going to suffer a little bit of a penalty to his armor class because of that.
So yeah, I'll put my shield down. I'll get sword in two hands and try and drive it into the carapace with its back turned.
Fair enough.
And that'll be a 26.
That is a critical hit.
Right. How does it work again?
So you roll your normal damage, which would be, because you're two-handing this sword, your damage is going to be relatively considerable because it goes up to a d12. So you're going to do d12 plus 4. Then you just multiply that by 2.
Oh. Well, I rolled an 8, so 8, 12, 24.
24 points of damage. Phelan, you feel yourself get grabbed and pinned up against this wall. This creature grabs hold of you. But you spot from the corner of your eye a paladin run past, round behind it, dropping their shield as they go, grabbing their sword in both hands, which, by the by, is an action to grab your sword in both hands, but that's fine. You have the extra action.
Okay.
You swing down, smashing the sword in, and Phelan is immediately sort of released as this thing drops dead in a single hit.
I make sure to have kind of a cheeky smile as the maggot kind of drops and Phelan's just standing there.
I like.
So that means no longer grabs, no longer any of those sorts of things. And Mosran, it is now your turn.
Okay. Look at this.
You are well aware that
off.
there's another creature in there, even though...
Yeah. Well, one squared away. I can't let them have all the fun. Get back in.
Again, you might need to do fun things to get through the walls.
10, 15, 20. Yep. So there is a route there, but... So... 5. Nope, not what I meant to do. Other button. Other thing. Come on. Give me the... Let me move my token! Left. Left. Oh, okay. Then select my token then. Come on.
If you're struggling to select your token, by the way...
There we go.
There we go. Okay, so...
Click and drag.
Mosran runs in, yeah.
And straight in, right down the barrel.
Mm-hmm.
Going for a halberd strike.
Seems fair.
6 plus 9 for 15.
These things are very, very easy to hit. That is a hit. They are large maggots.
I guess they're not particularly fast, are they?
They're not particularly fast. They're not very dexterous at all.
A D10 plus strength. So it'll be... I think it's D10 plus strength.
And that rings a bell.
Yes.
Just it is a D10 plus 4. Yeah.
D10 plus 4. Perfect. Not too shabby. 7 plus 4 makes 11.
You take a big old chunk out of this thing, but oddly enough, this one is still going.
No.
That's all right. For my second trick.
Actually, no. To be fair, I haven't taken an action yet, and therefore I do not have reactions on that creature. So yes, for your second and for your third and final action.
Stab. But this is map 5, map deck 5. So 15 minus 5 for 10.
That is a miss.
Yeah.
So while they are not easy to, not difficult to hit, unfortunately, with that second sort of wild swing, you don't quite connect. Neffy, it is your go. Interestingly enough, this creature hasn't gone yet, and therefore is still flat-footed to you, and all of the wonderful things that rogues get because of that.
Can I quickly check? Sorry, exacting strike.
Yeah.
Link that one in chat,
So
hopefully.
exacting strike, what it does is it allows you to have if you miss an attack, you get to make your next attack.
Oh, it's a second in that.
But it's still an action. So
Gotcha.
Unfortunately, you did not have any extra actions to do that.
Cool. Sorry.
Okay. Neffy, yep.
I've moved. You said it's flat-footed.
To you, because of you have being a rogue, you have that wonderful surprise attack advantage.
Yeah. And
because you use stealth.
if you strike it, so I'm rolling. If I hit it, I deal an extra 1d6 precision.
Indeed, because of your sneak attack.
Okay.
Now it's going to have some cover because Mosran's in the way, but that is only going to be partial cover, which is only +1 to its armor class. So, but it's flat-footed,
Okay.
so you get the advantage of the fact that it's also -2 to its armor class because it's flat-footed.
So I rolled 19.
In total?
Yeah.
Okay, that is a hit.
Yay! So I'm rolling 2d6, is that right?
So effectively, you're going to be rolling for your hand crossbow. You'll be rolling 1d6 for the hand crossbow and 1d6 sneak attack damage. So 2d6.
So 4. So 6 total.
6 total. Your bolt goes in, but it's still moving.
And then I reload my hand crossbow. That's me done. That's 3 actions.
Which does mean it gets to act. So, not exactly in the best of positions, but I've got a target right in front of me. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I have enough wherewithal to actually notice you and grab you. With a 6 on the dice, I do. So I'm going to try and bite you with my mandibles. That is going to result in a 12 on the dice, which is not going to work at all. It will try again. This is going to be slightly difficult. Yeah, so it will try again. A 13? No, I'm guessing not. And it doesn't really have much else it can do at this point. So it is going to try and run. No, that's not going to get anywhere near you. Not even close. So this thing just tries to rear and claw at you, but and bite at you, but it is just utterly incapable of connecting. Phelan.
Right. So, time to throw the horns and cast electric arc at it.
Yep, fair enough. Remind me again, is that an attack roll?
Oh,
or is
that's
that a reflex save.
That's a reflex save. That is a basic DC 17 reflex save.
Basic DC 17. I highly doubt I can crit this, so we'll see just how badly I die. Well, I got a 19, so I will take half damage from this. But I will also not ask you to roll that because it only has 1 health left. So instead of rolling it, why wouldn't you instead just describe what happens to the poor thing as this electricity bounces into it, and we shall then end this combat.
So the electricity arcs from Phelan's extended hand, causes a brief corona around the tip of Mosran's halberd, and then just arcs into the creature's body, kind of outlining each of its body segments before it expires.
So this thing gets hit by this lightning, and it bounces all around it, and then just bits start going off in segments. Mosran is more or less covered head to toe in a black, icky kind of ichor.
Lovely.
But that is the end of that. Right.
Come here, Mosran, I'll get you cleaned up. Prestidigitation.
with a very quick spell, all of the ooze is washed away.
I'll
It's
remember
a
to pick up
useful
my
spell.
shield.
I agree.
So you notice a couple of things in here. So this a collapsed wooden staircase in the northeastern corner of this room winds up to a moss-shrouded hole. The expanse of the fog fen is visible through a total collapse in a stone wall to the west. A dead frog the size of a horse lies sprawled in this collapse. Its back legs bitten off at the hips.
Oh, no frog's legs for dinner then.
No.
So yes,
It tastes like chicken, you know.
there is basically a frog. Giant frog.
I'm quite intrigued by this door that we're quite close to. Can I put my ear up to it and see if I can hear anything in here?
You can do, yes. I'm happy to give you a check on that one. You definitely hear something through there. Just this constant sort of this very constant noise.
I try and indicate to everyone and go shh, and indicate there's a sound coming from the door.
Yep.
Nephi really wants to go and open that door.
Yep. Stacking up again.
Oh, we can't move at the moment.
Combat mode.
Yep. There you go. You are out of that.
Are we doing the stack up in front of the door, open
That
it,
seems
see
like
what
a
happens?
good idea.
Yep. I've got reach. I'm over your shoulder. On your
No,
side.
I'm going to stack up over here, just in case something's got a spray of wasp names.
Is there a way? So obviously before, we kind of had to wait for initiative. Is there a way to kind of charge through the door? So if there's something on the other side, I kind of stab it.
Not mechanically, really.
Okay.
There isn't that sort of thing. In very, very sort of loose terms, the combat system doesn't. Sorry, the initiative system is designed to take account of that to a certain extent. It just happens that if you smash your way through a door to a creature that just happens to be on guard and ready, then the initiative takes. The idea is that it takes its mind on that.
Sure.
In addition to that, charging is actually a feat for certain classes.
Oh, okay.
So there is no mechanical benefit for charging either, unless you have a feat to do it.
Sad face.
I'm guessing this is one of the situations where rolling your initiative off athletics because you're breaching the door would be the thing.
Yes,
oh, okay.
Absolutely. Because you're breaching the door, you could say, I'm not going to use perception for this. It makes no sense that I would be perceiving as I go through the door. I'm using my athletics to do this. So this could be one of those where I would very happily say, unless of course you want to use perception because your perception's better, but if you turn around and said, you know what, my athletics is better and I really think I should roll initiative with my athletics.
My perception's awful.
I'm with the idea of breaching and rushing.
Yeah, I'll take to do that then. I'll breach through and try and charge through and...
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely, 100%. So, by all means, click and open that door as you both sort of get your shoulders down and you start to run yourselves forwards. You open the door to see in front of you a creature which, if it was slightly smaller, you would be quite happy with it. It would be just this average, everyday, garden variety bottle fly. Not a problem. The downside is that it is about the size of a large dog, and there's your lovely giant fly type creature, and what we'll actually do is, rather than throw ourselves into this combat at this point in time, we are actually going to stop there for this session, and we will stop our recordings and we will get on, because once again you've just brought yourselves to this lovely stopping point where we can start next
Naturally.
That is a horrible thing to find through a door.
Yeah.
Well, you just
honestly, I think finding haunts are worst.
True.
Yes, that wonderful haunt that you happily threw yourselves into last time. Well, I think this time you've decided instead to have a little bit of a combat encounter to end the session. And that is fine by me. You guys are blitzing your way through fights though at the moment, so it looks like the only way I can actually deal with you is to put haunts in front of you. So I'll remember that for now.
Yes.
Good to know.
Yeah, good.
That's not an invitation.
Well, no, possibly not. We are going to sign off there, everyone. Have a wonderful Christmas. We will have another episode scheduled for next week, so there will be one before New Year's. So that will release the following Wednesday from now, because I've set them all up to go on Wednesdays. But for the time being, that is the random encounter for today. And see ya, everyone, and have fun.
Bye.
Ta-ta.